Alright, so let's use our evidence. Here it is. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd, that is, you being called to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet, you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Boom. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Oh, rubble. Maybe he's just a clumsy cowboy, rubble. Witness, what is the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the bloodstained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Bloodstained fingerprints. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See? I had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Alright, let's cross-examine. He says, like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That, and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently, his fingerprint data was never changed. He must have been using the fingerprint lock without even knowing it. Marshall's fingerprints updated. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker's covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened the murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward for me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's on top of murder. He's right, although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I'll keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place his hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The seal of blood. In the desert, it's just for food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. As long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now, then, continue with your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? What do you mean by that? You want a comment of this here crowd, isn't that right, partner? If so, the video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, he could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. There has to be evidence, so I'll have to find it. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the only one making a mistake. Now let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Alright, hold on. I can pause it. Alright. Now wait a minute. Okay, let's think about this. And let me mute this fucking music. It's so annoying. God, I hate that song. The only evidence of him we already saw when the guy's in here, right? Hold on. Let's let it play. Actually, let's let it fast forward to when the guy walks in. There he is. Nothing there. We've already kind of examined. I already looked at this. There he is. The thing falls out of the locker. Nothing there to prove that it's Marshall. Let's fast forward. No. That's the struggle. Again, nothing incriminating really. So the blood got all over his coat. And then you never see the killer again at all. And that's actually the end of the tape. Okay. And the tape replays. Okay, so let's think. So if the evidence isn't him, meaning there's nothing on him, that means there might be something in the room. And I was thinking maybe the bloody handprint here, but that bloody handprint didn't have fingerprints. So maybe, okay, hold on. Let's rewind. Maybe there's a bloody handprint on this locker. Remember, this is his locker, right? So let's watch. Let's watch the tape. Skim through to the next part where they show that locker. No handprint. Shit, okay. No handprint. God damn it, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Still no handprint. Fuck, there's... Wait a minute, look at that. Oh! Do you remember there was something hanging out of Marshall's locker and you can't figure out what it is when you're in the room? Alright, here we go. So what does this prove? There's something hanging out of his locker. That means that he had to have opened the locker during this tape. We got it. That's it. Oh, I didn't unmute. Bring our attention back to the security camera. Is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon forget, You'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. Yep, I was right. That locker with the white claw sticking out? That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Crazy music. Ah, see, yep, it's not sticking out there. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened the locker when the camera was turned away. Ha ha! Rubble, 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 rubble. Order, order. It would seem that's the only... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man.